Hi everyone, Brinky here. I'm an illustrator and comic creator, and today I'm drawing myself as a pirate. And why am I drawing myself as a pirate? Well, first off, I love the pirate aesthetic. I breathe the pirate aesthetic. I love reading fanfics with pirate alternate universes. I love it. It's tasty, it's delicious. And not only that, but one of the boy groups you could say that I love is 80s, and they have this whole thing with a storyline where they are pirates or something. It's quite confusing, really. But that's the thing. And a fellow artist who also is an 80s fan created this challenge where on Twitter where you could draw yourself as a pirate. The artist is called Purple Jung. Here you can find them on Twitter if you want. And I think the challenge was about not only drawing yourself as a pirate, but drawing yourself as a part of a thesis crew or something. I don't know. I did this a while ago, but that's the whole idea. So, what did I do? What was the first thing I did to create this illustration? Make a Pinterest board, a folder full of pictures with that pirate aesthetic feel, with compasses and corsets and poet shirts or sleeves. No, poet shirt? No, it's called poet sleeves. You know what I'm talking about, right? With all these things that had to do with pirates. Because I think that the first thing you should do to create something is to get inspired and something that will get you very excited just to start drawing and sketching. And right after I spent like 10-20 minutes doing that Pinterest board, I started sketching on my sketchbook because that's always the first step for me. I like to draw small and I like to experiment with poses, outfits. For this one illustration in specific, I experimented with different kinds of corsets. So after I was done deciding like the composition, the pose, the clothes and accessories that I was sure I was gonna put in this illustration, I started drawing on my iPad on Procreate. And when I start sketching, I replicate what I've already done on my sketchbook and also add more details like the piercings that you can see in this illustration that I do not have. I just have one in each ear. The necklace with the compass, the choker, which is inspired by my 80s bias. He's not always, but often wearing chokers, and things like that. The whole outfit was created with this pirate aesthetic in mind, as I've said, which I actually regret because I only had that in mind, and I think I should have gone more of what would I do if I was part of a pirate crew? I really wish I had more gone on that idea, because then I would have added more details and all these things that would create a story in this illustration. Sadly, I didn't, but now that I think of it, I really, really think that the role of navigator would be something cool for my persona. Not only because it would go well with this design that I already have going on, but also because of my interests. The navigator is the member of the crew that can calculate a ship's latitude by using the stars, and therefore helps the captain with setting routes, And I really think this would fit me quite well because I love the night sky and I am the absolute night owl. I literally hate getting up in the morning and love going to bed late. So, if I was in a pirate crew and I got to stay up late to read the stars and things like that, I think I'd love it, to be honest. I had lots of fun doing the line art for this one. It took me so long, but it was all so worth it. I put so many details on it, and now that I think back to it, I could have gone even more in detail and like added an intricate pattern for the corset, maybe with flowers or something, but now it's done. And also, now that I'm thinking of it, like, yeah, I have in this illustration, I have two layers for the skirts. I have like the bottom layer and the layer on the top that doesn't cover the front part. It looks like a dress, really. I love it. And the outer part, I could have gone with a pattern there too. I think it would have looked really good, but now it's done, and I'm glad I can see these kinds of things now that I've done the illustration a while ago, because it means that I have grown when it comes to thinking about illustrations and stuff like that. And now to the colors. I worked with only warm colors, I think, for this illustration, if I'm not counting the parrot and the background, which have blues, but the rest is all like warm colors. And there's a reason for that. I if you really like look at my artworks, you'll see that I'm really addicted to warm colors. Like, I really don't like using colors that are too cold, because I love the warm feel that I can put into my art, and I try to always put that into my artwork, and sometimes it's probably too much. But yeah, with this illustration I went only for warm colors. It's just things in the range of orange, mostly orange and reds, like the shirt, which shirt and skirt have exactly the same color. The inner layer of the skirt, it's just an orangey white and the rest is browns, like my skin color. The hair, which is accurate to reality. I think I made my skin color actually a bit darker than it is right now, because right now it's almost spring, and in summer my skin gets way darker because there's so much more exposure to the sun. So I made my characters, and I'm really glad I thought about that. I made this persona skin darker because I would spend a lot of time in the sun if I was a pirate, and so my skin would get darker and more saturated than what is now. So I'm really glad I thought about that while I was doing this illustration. And also talking about summer and skin color. The clothes that I chose for my character were very very summery. So what did I do? I use very warm colors in the shadows and lighting because I wanted this illustration to look like it was a sunset in the middle of summer. And it would make sense with the whole pirate thing going on, so why not, am I right? And so there's this whole thing with the lights that are super warm and the shadows too, because when you look at the sunset, it's normally just oranges and pinks, and I really wanted that in this illustration. And even though the background it's not detailed at all, like I just put a photo that I had taken of the ocean when I went on vacations. That's all I used for the background. And the rest, like just the character, you can feel, you can understand that the character is in a sunset and that is summer, that it's hot. It's this whole thing, and I absolutely love it. So that's all for today. Thank you for watching until the end. That means a lot to me. I hope you enjoyed me explaining my thought process on this one, on this illustration that I really, really, really love to make. And if you want to support me, follow me on other social media like Twitter, and liking this video is a great way to do it. However, if you want to do it monetarily, you can always support me through Ko-fi or commission me. Thank you for being here. Have a nice weekend, and don't forget to eat your vegetables.